Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to discuss a poem. The topic is The Ball Poem by John Barrymore. So here, this is the poem that we have to discuss today. This is the poem by John Barrymore. So here is the poem, The Ball Poem, and the poet is John Barrymore. Now you see the poem. I am going to read this poem. Pay your attention on each and every word that I am going to pronounce, and then we will discuss the points. So this is the poem. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street, and then merrily over there it is in the water. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. I would not intrude on him a dime. Another ball is worthless. Now he senses first responsibility. He, in a world of possessions, people will take balls. Balls will be lost always. Little boy. And no one buys a ball back. Money is external. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes the epistemology of loss, how to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days how to stand up. So this is the poem by John Barrymore, and the main points which have been described here, or the points which have been covered here in the poem by the poet, are: a little boy loses his ball. You know that children play with different kinds of toys, and balls are generally preferable by the boys. As the girls prefer to play with dolls, the boys play with balls when they are at their young age. And that little boy who plays with that ball was very near and dear to him. He loved that ball very much. He was attached with that ball, and he was not knowing that he may lose that ball someday. So one day when he was playing with the ball, what happened? That ball jumping ran and fall into the harbor. The harbor is a place. What's the meaning of harbor? The harbor is a place where ships are loaded and unloaded of the goods. So these are the certain difficult words that you will come across. Let us describe, let us know them. Ultimate means final. Grief means sorrow. Rigid means unmoved. Many times the students become very much rigid. Sometimes the children are very much rigid when they are in the market with their parents. They want to buy this thing or that thing, but they do not understand the value of that thing. So harbor means a place where ships load and unload goods. Then desperate means hopelessness, and epistemology means knowledge. So these are the difficult words which you will come across in this poem. And now let us come to the second point, that it was not a big loss, only a dime. The cost of that ball which was lost by the boy was not very expensive. It was not a very costly ball, but the boy was repenting for the loss of that ball. The reason was he was attached with that ball very much. He loved that ball very much. Though the cost of that ball was hardly a dime. Dime means 10 US cents. 10 US cents are equal to a dime, like paisa in a rupee in our Indian currency. So the cost of that ball was not much. The poet suggests that boy that you just can purchase, you can buy another ball, but the boy was not satisfied. So here is a symbolism. The poet has used a symbolism, and symbolism means when the something represents some other thing. So the ball symbolizes the innocent childhood of the boy which slipped away, and he wants it back. So here the ball symbolizes, that the childhood was slipping away from that boy. And it was very difficult to retrieve, that childhood. Retrieving of that ball was not very, very difficult because the cost of that ball was not much. So we many times lose many of the things. These are sometimes the insignificant or unimportant toys, but sometimes these are your friends, these are your classmates to whom you lose after a certain interval of times. So it always happens that we lose, sometimes you lose your neighbors because they are transferred from that place. Sometimes your classmate, who is studying with you, that person, that boy also goes away to some other station with his parents as they are transferred. So you are having an attachment with that person. This boy had the attachment. Ball is not very important, ball is not very costly, but the feelings, the attachment, these are the things which are very, very important, which cannot be bought by money. Money is external to all these things. Our feelings, our attachment, our sufferings, these are the things that you cannot buy with the help of money. So money is external here. Recovering from the loss. So recovering from the loss, now that very child is now learning how to adjust himself with that situation, because this was the first time when he experienced, when he gained the knowledge of losing a ball. That was not very important, but still he was rigid to retrieve the same ball. Why? Because he was attached to it. So the poet here wants to convey that the boy will definitely learn how to adjust ourselves with that situation. Now, money is external to the losses, as I told you, and is standing up. Because in life, you will lose one after many things, one after another person. You will have to lose, or you will definitely lose. So, hope and understanding should be there. The poet wants to give this idea, he wants to convey this idea to the readers that we should have an understanding in life. Epistemology, that word has been used here. I told you the meaning here. Epistemology means knowledge. So epistemology means knowledge, means the boy lost his ball, but now he has gained the knowledge that people lose things in their lives. So, the message he wants to give, that life is precious and should not be wasted. Life is precious and it should not be wasted. We lose many things in our life, but we are not supposed to repent for that thing, continuously, and we should not lament for this. Otherwise, our life will become very, full of misery, full of sorrow, and we would not be able to do anything in our life. So the poet says that we must learn the art of epistemology of loss. This is the theme that this poet wants to convey. Now let us see the literary devices. The poet has used certain literary devices here in this poem, the ball poem, and first is Anaphora. What is Anaphora? This is a literary device in which two lines of a poem, is begin with the same word. You just see here the first two lines in the poem, what is the boy now, and the second line also, what is to do. So both these lines are beginning with the same word, and so whenever there is a situation in any of the poem, when the two lines begin with the same word, it means there is anaphora. So here you see what, and the second line also what. So this is the literary device anaphora. Then another literary device which has been used here is symbolism. So symbolism is ball is the symbol of boy's young and innocent days. Ball symbolizes the young days of the boy. And the third one is alliteration. Alliteration is another literary device that has been used here by the poet. And alliteration, that if two or three or more words of same sound are there in the same line, that is known as alliteration. For example, rascals and rogues ran a race round and round the rugged rocks. And so here in the poem, you just see this literary device, alliteration is used. Buys a ball back. So B buys, B for ball and B for ball, back. So boy buys ball and back. They are the three words, but they are beginning with B. Okay, so the sound is same. Therefore, it is an alliteration. So this is the poem The Ball Poem by John Berryman. I think all of you must have understood this poem thoroughly. I have explained, the theme of the poem, the message that has been given here in the poem. I told you the difficult words also, and I told you, the literary devices which have been used here. And let me tell you one more thing, that this poem, the Ball Poem, is written in blank verse, and blank verse means when no particular rhyme scheme is used. So that's all. Thank you very much.